Patriotism without provocation, protecting Philippine interests through diplomacy. The continuing exchange of heated rhetoric between the Chinese embassy and several Philippine senators has placed Philippine-China relations under increasing strain, raising legitimate concerns about the broader implications for the country's economic and diplomatic standing. China remains one of the Philippines' major economic partners, and any sustained deterioration in bilateral ties carries consequences that extend far beyond political posturing. From export agreements and trade flows to foreign investments, economic stability is closely intertwined with the state of diplomatic relations between the two nations. Beyond trade, the potential fallout directly affects thousands of overseas Filipino workers, OFWs, currently employed in China. These workers are not mere statistics. They are breadwinners whose families depend heavily on remittances for survival, education, and health care. Any escalation that threatens their employment or welfare would have a ripple effect across Filipino households. Compounding the issue is the noticeable decline in Chinese tourist arrivals, a downturn that has already begun to impact the local tourism industry, an essential pillar of economic recovery for many regions in the country. Tensions were further inflamed following the president's public support for Commodore J. Tariela of the Philippine Coast Guard after a lecture featured an alleged caricature of Chinese President Xi Jinping. The Chinese embassy interpreted this as an act of mockery against their head of state, adding fuel to an already sensitive situation. While freedom of expression and transparency are hallmarks of a democratic society, diplomacy requires prudence, especially when actions, intentional or otherwise, can be construed as disrespectful by another nation. Statements made by several Philippine senators, notably Senators Risa Hontiveros and Erwin Tulfo, have also drawn attention for their confrontational tone, which critics argue only adds insult to injury. At a time when the Department of Foreign Affairs is exploring policies such as visa-free entry for Chinese nationals to encourage tourism and business, mixed signals from government leaders undermine the effectiveness of such initiatives. Diplomatic efforts cannot succeed in isolation. They demand coherence, restraint, and a unified national voice. Patriotism is not measured by the harshness of words, but by the wisdom of actions taken in defense of national interest. While Filipinos have every right to be firm in asserting sovereignty, particularly in matters concerning the West Philippine Sea, this must be pursued through strategic, peaceful, and diplomatic means. Escalatory rhetoric may satisfy short-term political sentiments, but it risks long-term consequences that ordinary Filipinos will ultimately bear. The Philippines must stand resolute without being reckless, courageous without being confrontational. True patriotism lies in protecting sovereignty while safeguarding the welfare of the Filipino people through dialogue, diplomacy, and principled engagement. In navigating complex disputes with powerful neighbors, the nation must choose statesmanship over spectacle, ensuring that our voice on the world stage is both strong and responsible. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to like and subscribe.